Yeah.
Okay.
Well, fellas, we are live
All right. Fuck yeah.
on
Live, baby, live.
the internet.
Where
God,
we
that's like my
belong.
favorite place.
It's like we never left.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, there they are.
Okay. Had to moderately adjust the size of the windows because,
Okay.
well, things are different now. Because, I don't know, restarted my computer between the last podcast and now.
Yeah, fair
Okay.
enough. Oh, we're looking good.
Okay.
You know, these things happen. But that's the price. It's the price I'm willing to pay. I don't know about you guys. Resize a few windows for the people, for the viewers.
Always.
Always for the viewers. How have you guys been?
Great. Ducky. Just fucking Fandango. I don't know.
Quack, quack, quack.
Correct.
Nice.
Correct. You hit the nail on the head. All right. Gotta make sure my arms are in place. Gotta lock the S-foils in attack position. You know, all that good shit.
I like that.
Yeah, playing some nonsense. You know, the usual shit, the good biz, the high quality games. Went to go. Went to the cinema last night.
Ooh.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. I told my work meeting, if you got a minute, you should go see Violent Night. It's my new favorite Christmas movie.
Oh, I've been dying to see it.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
Oh, it totally is. For those of you who do not know what Violent Night is, imagine Die Hard, but instead of John McClane, you have the actual Santa Claus.
AKA Stranger Things, AKA David Harbour. I guess that's not AK. Well, no, he's also known as David Harbour.
I don't think he's ever been known as Stranger Things, but I understand the direction you were aiming in.
Yeah,
That's good.
I get it.
Yeah.
He's popular enough now that he gets a name.
Oh yeah, and he is that show. Let's not play around here. He is that show. So, James.
Well, I mean, you got
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
Damn near, yeah.
Yes, I love it. Is it just
in terms of the kind of movie you want it to be? It's perfect. Yeah.
Nice.
I will say, I don't want to give too much away, even though it's a Die Hard movie / Christmas movie. You more or less know what's going to happen. I will say, those of us who grew up watching Home Alone, there's a special treat for you.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Really? Is it in the way of a Marv or Harry cameo? Just saying.
No.
Is it
more joyous and distressing?
Interesting.
Than a cameo.
I mean, come on. Who around our age range hasn't seen both of those movies? And I only say both of those movies. Yes, there's been more, but let's be real. There's only 2 of them. And who hasn't seen those both 20, 30 times? So this is interesting. This makes me want to see this even more now.
It's just a little bonus, a little aperitif.
Yeah.
But, it will really stick with you.
It'll really jingle your bells.
Yes, it'll really jingle your fucking bells.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, that fucking movie. My goodness.
Interesting.
Okay, put it on the list.
Yeah.
Got to get there.
Yep.
Oh.
But games, have you guys been picking up any kills in video games?
I've been picking up untold numbers of kills.
Yeah, as many as David Harbour and Violent Night.
I'm going to say more based on the game I think he's about to talk about.
Nice. Yeah, I don't know what Harbour's body count is like in Violent Night, but I'm talking about Vampire Survivors because it's on Game Pass now.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, that's the kind of game where you take any opportunity you can to start from zero and build all the way back up again.
Oh, yeah.
Man, it's so good.
It's so good. It doesn't take long to get going again. So yeah, exactly. You're totally fine with dying, restarting, because it's only going to be a few minutes before you're right back to where you were, and probably in a more entertaining spot than you were previously.
And yeah, they've added a lot to that game. There's a lot more characters. There's a lot more going on, but still has that gameplay loop that's just so satisfying. All you need is one stick.
Yeah.
Come on, what do we need all this complexity for when you get the exact same, if not better, satisfaction from murdering hordes of mutant bats and stuff in Vampire Survivors?
Yeah, I found starting a file over in the Game Pass version that I haven't quite unlocked things again as quickly as I would have liked. Like I still haven't gotten the 4th main stage because I've been like, I don't know, spinning my wheels or something, because I don't really remember exactly what steps I took to get as far as I did. I only know the weapon combos to like evolve the weapons. That's the stuff that sticks in my brain, but everything else is like gone. So
I'm sure if anybody was really interested, they could go back in time in this podcast and hear us discuss the best weapon combinations in Vampire Survivors.
Yeah, yeah. Holy Bible, or what's it called? King's Bible?
yeah.
Dude, get that thing jacked up. Oof, deadly.
I learned to love the
It's a
whip
good book.
Yeah.
because it came up more often than the garlic, and it also does health steal,
Mm.
and it has a huge nasty range. And oh yeah, the lightning ring.
Yeah, the lightning
Because
ring.
when you max that out and evolve it, then it's just like striking in huge swaths all over the screen and doing terrible bullshit. I had high hopes for the 2 birds combo, but it doesn't.
Too erratic.
Yeah, it just doesn't hit like you'd want it to.
Yeah.
I feel like almost like the of the maxed out versions of each individual bird probably has more coverage.
Yeah, you're probably
but
right.
Like, punchier but less coverage when it evolves.
Yeah, you've really got to be up against it for that kind of randomness to be of consistent value.
Yeah.
But man, game holds up. If it came out in 2022, hey, I think it should be on our games of the year list, which podcast is not about.
That's
right.
We don't
games
play
of the year list.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't.
Well,
yeah, we're not doing that.
Sounds like a thing that somebody else would do in non-specified amount of time.
It's one of the best games in the last 2 weeks.
That's for fucking
Oh,
sure.
100%. 100%.
But I'll tell you what.
You know what else?
Oh,
no, you go ahead.
You
go ahead.
Come on in. Come on in.
No. You go ahead.
Come
You go
on in.
ahead. You go ahead.
I was gonna say what else came on to Game Pass is Lego Star Wars.
Oh,
The full collection,
nice.
all 9 movies.
I've heard nothing but good things about that version.
Oh,
Yep.
Now,
Yeah.
did they like remake because they released, I believe, the original 3 episodes, and then didn't they do all 6 episodes, or the first 6 episodes?
They did.
So now they have one with all 9. Did they remake the levels they had already done, or was it just like they put the old stuff in this new one and added the new stuff?
That I don't know.
Okay.
But as far as the Lego content you go there for, like, standing Darth Vader in front of mini Anakin Skywalker, because you can do that, all those characters interact the way you would think they should. So they've at least gone back and polished all that up, that you can go do the nonsense.
Yeah. I felt like that's something that they've always nailed with those Lego games, is the fan service.
Mhm.
I remember back to the Pirates of the Caribbean one. and just what you were saying with characters interacting with each other the way they should. You know, if you're bringing enemies together, they may, you know, come to blows, whereas if you're bringing friends together, it may be an entirely different interaction.
Yeah.
I feel like they've always nailed that sort of stuff.
And the whimsy is always just on point.
Yeah.
You know, they know how to do fan service right, and they know how to keep it entertaining. You could be playing through those games for the 15th time with your kids if you wanted to, and it would still be good. It'd still be fun because, you know, you'd play through all 9 episodes as Chewie or something.
Yeah. They're always well made too.
Yeah.
They always run very well. They look good. You know, they always capture, I think, exactly what the developers are going for. They always nail it.
Top quality stuff from, I think it's WB Games.
Yeah.
Yeah. Traveler's Tales, I think, is the company that's been doing Lego for 100 years. I can't remember.
But Rhett, we were saying the exact same thing, and I've got to know what you were going with.
I was going with Marvel's Midnight Suns.
Ooh.
It came out on December 2nd, I believe, so less than a week ago. And I've put a couple hours in. Pretty promising so far. I'm playing on PC. Looks really nice. Ray tracing. The environmental effects are cool. You'll go and smash somebody over the head with a stack of newspapers, and the stack will explode into this glorious, you know, this rainfall of paper and debris. And what's nice as well is that with games like this, typically you'll like smash somebody through a part of the environment and then the debris will disappear. But with this, most of it sticks around. So by the end of a long drawn out fight, the map just looks like a fucking war zone. And yeah, right. I like that. I'm not too far in. I don't have much to say, but through the first couple hours, I'm liking it. I'm pretty satisfied.
What style of game is this? Because from looking at the trailers, it feels like it's the next evolution of Ultimate Alliance.
XCOM. Actually, it's XCOM. It's a turn-based tactical. Yeah, it's more in line with, you know, maybe like a Fire Emblem, or XCOM is the closest because it's I believe it's the same developer that did XCOM.
Is it? Huh.
And so it's the closest comparison where like it's not like Fire Emblem in that you have a grid. You have a certain space and you can move your characters wherever you choose. And it's all about like kind of getting them into the right position for environmental attacks, or you've got a deck of cards that you play from as well. And so you've got certain attacks, certain abilities that you make use of. And so again, it's about getting them in a position for that sort of stuff. And yeah, like the fun thing is that I'm having a good time already through the first 2.5 hours, and every review I read about the game is saying that it really picks up after the first, I don't know, 5-6 hours. So if I'm enjoying it already this much, I'm looking forward to when it actually does open up. I'm not at a part yet where I can like pick team members. I'm going on missions and it's like picking who I set out with. So I assume that's going to open up, and you know, the customization is going to open up. I didn't realize as well that going into it, you actually create a new hero. You play as the hunter, they call them, and it's like this totally original hero that you actually go into a character creator. And it's not a very good character creator, but you know, albeit it is what it is. But yeah, you create this new hero and you kind of play from the perspective of him or her, and several other, you know, heroes that you can pick from. Yeah, good times so far.
What about bullshit? Firaxis games are notorious for their bullshit. 94% chance to hit means that you absolutely will miss.
I haven't actually seen percentages yet.
Okay.
It's like, so you play a card and it's like, one of my favorite ones so far is like, it's like this quick strike where if you KO an opponent with it, you get your play back essentially. So it's like the turn didn't even count, or well, yeah, it didn't like count against your plays.
Okay.
But that never like takes a percentage, like an accuracy percentage into effect. It's like you play the card and you're going to get the hit, and if you get the kill, you know, if you maybe it may be a few hit points out of the range of actually killing a person, but if you play it and you get that critical, if you have your character lined up in the right spot to get that critical, then you'll get it, you'll get the card back. And it never comes down to like an accuracy thing. It's more so positioning and, yeah, the type of card you're playing.
So like a completely different kind of bullshit that's maybe better
Different
than
kind of
traditional
bullshit.
that
Yeah,
that we're used to. That's great. That's great news, honestly.
I haven't yet come across one single turn where I've been like, "Oh, what the fuck?" Like that that wasn't very fair, or, you know, it always seems like it's pretty on point. I don't know. It's got a difficulty system, kind of like Diablo's as well, where you start off with only two difficulties to choose from. You got like story, and then you have normal. And then as you progress, you can like kick it up to like, you know, hard, extra hard plus plus, etc., etc.
Okay.
That rewards more loot, but obviously will provide a more challenging game.
Yeah, which reminds me of, well, Outriders. Actually, they did that where you could unlock higher tier difficulties as you progressed.
Mm,
Yeah, it's a thing I've seen before. That's good. That's cool.
yeah.
How about the roster of characters? I remember there being some blowback that maybe the roster is a little thin, but you know, looking at the trailer, I'm seeing some heavy hitters.
Oh yeah, man, you should see the Ghost Rider that they have in here. He's like this old, he's got this silver flow, looking gorgeous. And they got like, who else do they need really other than that? But they got Captain America.
Most
They
of
got
yeah.
It's the
You need
Hunter
a lot more
and
people than
Ghost Rider.
I'm gonna say, yeah.
they got Captain America. They got Hulk. They got Spider-Man. They got Venom. They got Wolverine.
Okay,
They
well,
got
people need to
Blade.
quit.
Blade after he cheated on his taxes, he's in there. There's Sabretooth. Man, the roster's decent. It's decent.
To be clear, Blade, the vampire hunter himself, did not cheat on his taxes.
Are you sure?
You know what, Rhett? I'm not sure. I'm reasonably certain that Blade the Vampire Hunter did not canonically in universe cheat on his taxes, thus taking his spot away from the roster of Marvel superheroes.
Yeah, because he was out of commission for a while.
Yeah.
Blade was offshore for unexplained reasons.
Yeah, he was very offshore. Yeah.
Sweet. Haven't played a good turn-based game in a bit, so
Recommend it.
nice. Did any of us touch Final Fantasy Crisis Core? Crisis Core Reunion?
No.
Apparently. Oh no, it doesn't come out for 5 days. There are reviews though.
My understanding is do they do anything new, or is it just like we shined it up so that you can play it if you never played it before?
I mean,
I played Crisis Core.
From the trailer, it looks like the remake. Like they did Crisis Core in the remake engine.
Okay.
I don't know if that's true or not, but
Well, I mean, we could be seeing like cutscenes and shit like that. They could have just shined that up, or they just took that engine they've been slaving over like a fucking pot of soup, and they dished a little bit out for Crisis Core. The game was great from what little I remember. It had this weird guitar, like acoustic guitar centric soundtrack. Like there's a lot more acoustic guitar in the soundtrack than you're imagining.
Was this the Final Fantasy where the Sonic co-creator is in trouble for insider trading? Have y'all heard about this?
No, that's a battle royale game that he's involved with.
Okay.
Um,
My bad.
yeah, no, I understand. It's an honest mistake. Yeah, from what I remember of the game, the soundtrack is great, and it's a version of that actiony combat system that they've been like slowly lurching towards with every Final Fantasy game for the last decade and a half. That was one of the first ones, was Crisis Core, and so it's a very natural fit to get a modern, like 4K style remake.
Metacritic is 77. So
Not terrible. It's actually pretty good for Metacritic.
Yeah, definitely not the worst thing.
There aren't any hundreds, so
No.
No, it's a
Hey,
remake.
if you want those, you just got to go to Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. On plenty of them over there.
That's hogwash.
have you still been playing Pokemon, James?
I have.
Yeah.
Yep.
And is it
Yeah,
still holding up for you?
Oh yeah, I finished the main story, and now it's like, because like once you beat it, oh, spoiler alert for anybody who hasn't done this, but it's fairly obvious what happens next.
Oh,
is that all of the gyms, all the places where you got badges, you're doing a sort of champion assessment, where you're like going around, you're like, all right, make sure all their shit is up to snuff, which basically means you get to do battles in the 60s, like level 60s. All the gyms are like bumped up to like champion level, so you can go back and like fuck these guys up at the height of their power. And there's other stuff, but to be honest, most of what I've been doing since the credits rolled was EV training, so I could replace 3 or 4 of my shittier members with some people that have at least better stats, so that I can actually do the champion assessment fights with some success. And maybe I'll do some online battles. I don't know. But it's fun. It's, it's cool just running around catching shit and like training dudes up and making them nice and tough. There's this one fairy steel combo called Tinkaton, which is this little pink thing that runs around with a 220-pound hammer that she uses to just bash the brains in of whatever it is she encounters in battle. It rules.
I'm envisioning like Kirby with a hammer.
You're not that far off.
Yeah.
Like Kirby with like hair and a hammer. Yeah.
Ooh. All right. Kirby with a sick flow. I could go for that.
Oh
Yeah.
man, always.
Yeah, so that one's cool, and there's this one I found. It's like a little fire type, like Charcerid or something. But like, you get it to evolve, and it turns into this badass like knight that's also on fire. It's like a ghost fire combo. It's called Cerulege, and it rules. It fucking rules. It has like a unique move called Bitter Blade, which is just like a fire type strike that actually has lifesteal, which rips. Yeah, lots of cool Pokemon. Yeah, it's been fun.
They've always done a good job with the like designs of the Pokemon and the the mechanics of the battling and the types and all that stuff. But they got to get somebody to write some better names.
Oh. Yeah.
Cerulege? You said Cerulege? What?
Yeah, like a combination of Cerulean and Edge.
So
no. That one's cool.
And it's a fire ghost? Come on.
Yes. I'm going to tell you right now that the starters for this generation got fucking robbed. They got fucking robbed. Every single one of them is the cringiest shit you've ever seen at its third evolution.
That was the one thing I found as well. I totally agree.
I picked the grass type and I thought, well, she's okay. Kind of lame, kind of silly. Then I saw the other two and was like, wow, I dodged a serious bullet.
Yeah.
Because the grass one just turns into like a bipedal cat, which is like gross, but fine. But then there's like the dancing duck and then Flat Fuck Friday for the fire type. Which is pretty cool, I guess, but like, kind of whatever. The water type is the one that really got shafted. Like, that's nasty. I feel so bad for anybody who picked the duck. It literally looks like a flamenco dancer, but like, for furries, it's real bad.
No, by far the worst starter generation I think ever.
That's fair. They're pretty gross.
They're bad.
There's a few evolved versions of certain Pokemon that are like, oh, I regret having you in my party. Because I found this one like little tiny little stub of thing. It's like a psychic type. I was like, oh, you're adorable. You're great. I'm gonna keep around and see what you turn into. What it turns into is a fucking like an ostrich, but the
Abomination.
kind that you would see parading around at like Carnival in Brazil, but
Okay.
like a gross color scheme, not like a good one.
Yeah.
Like a pastel Carnival ostrich. It's real bad. Um, so I replaced it partially because its stats were busted, and partially because it was just so ugly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, what would you say is your out of the new Pokemon? What's your favorite that you've seen so far?
Ceruledge for sure.
Ceruledge.
It looks so fucking badass, and his moves are great. And I didn't even do any crazy shit to his stats, and he still turned out awesome.
Nice. Love it.
Oh yeah.
Are you a shiny hunter?
Fuck no.
No.
Fuck no. That is the slot machines at the casino. That's what that shit is. I refuse.
Yeah.
It's like
Apparently
those
in this
old
one.
ladies just like ching.
Oh yeah.
Sort your fucking life out.
Apparently in this one they've made it easier than ever before, and I think that
No.
I think that they've done
Okay.
this over the past couple generations where they've added a couple of techniques you can implement to
Okay.
reduce that. I think it's 1 in 4,000 something chance.
Yes.
Typically, yeah.
So it's a complicated answer. I jumped to conclusions. What I meant to say is that it's kind of complicated because technically, mathematically speaking, shinies are a lot easier to acquire. However, it is much harder to discern the shiny version from the non-shiny version of a lot of Pokemon, to the point where people are begging Game Freak to put back, because it used to be like a noise and a
And a
sparkle
little
that would come
man,
with
it was
and
it
they
was
took that shit away. So
yeah.
now there's people with like if you're colorblind, you are fucked. You are a
Wow.
shiny hunter no longer. Like
Interesting.
there's just no path forward for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like people have shown, like they'll put up pictures of like, here's the shiny one, here's the not shiny one. I literally can't tell the difference between the two variants.
Yeah.
It's pretty bad, but like math wise, it is actually a lot easier to find them.
I can't believe they got rid of the
It's weird.
Yeah. Interesting. Gotta figure they just released a patch for the game in the past few days.
They
Yeah.
didn't get rid of the frame rate is still fucked, but
Yeah.
I
You
guess
gotta
it's
figure
fine.
that will take a little bit of time to fix, but
There's
if
no
they
fixing
are
that.
patching it, then I would assume that the shiny patch to bring that, that
Yeah.
notification essentially that you've got found a shiny, they'll bring it back in.
I'm not quite calling it now, but I will be genuinely shocked if they ever address the frame rate, because it seems like it was built into the very bones of the engine.
Yeah. They'll have to just
Like
nuke the code and start from scratch to
yeah,
fix it.
because we were talking about that last episode. They did that thing where the frame rate degrades the further things are away from your character, and that seems like the sort of thing you can't just patch out.
Yeah.
I feel like they maybe made a sort of devil's bargain when they implemented that, because it was like, well, now we can get the game to run, but I don't know that we can ever fix that. Because post patch, you still suffer from that frame rate degradation a certain distance away from your character. It's interesting because I don't spend any time in towns anymore, so I don't really notice it. But like when you're walking around the cities, you're still like, oh, it's a little busted. But when you're out in the field, you don't see it. Like you don't.
Yeah.
It doesn't come up in any way. You're just like, you find things, you kick the shit out of them, you catch them, you let them go, whatever. It never. You get frame dips sometimes, but it's not. It's something that I don't really notice or pay attention to until I go back into the towns.
Yeah.
Maybe they can at least push that boundary out a bit. It feels like it's more noticeable because it's so close.
It depends. Yes, it depends on what they did to establish that boundary in the first place, because this is like a 10 or 11-year-old NVIDIA Shield that they're doing this with. So maybe, man.
I wonder if anybody's got this game running on an emulator yet.
Probably.
That would be the telling point. Like, does it, like, A, can it get to 30 frames per second, and B, does it play better at that point, or does it push the boundary of that frame rate drop out?
I think if you emulate this, you can definitely get it running smooth, but the optimization is still going to be very problematic.
Got it.
Also, I know people start rumors about Switch Pros or the next generation all the time, but
every month.
Y'all gotta fucking get that thing going, you know?
Yeah, right. It's like we were making fun of it the last time, but no, this time it needs to happen. It's gone on too long. This joke has gone on too long. Nintendo.
I can't remember where I was recently, but the Switch OLED is still $500.
Fuck off.
What?
What? You can get a PS5 for $599.
Yeah, like, exactly.
What?
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's nuts.
I mean, no wonder there was a giant stack of them, I guess.
But I mean, it does come with that that more robust kickstand. So let's keep that in mind.
Oh, so if you want to kick it, that's the one.
It's not $100 kickstand. That's for sure.
It's a pretty nice, pretty thick kickstand.
Yeah.
And the original Switch screen, man, it was tolerable when that thing came out, but now it is rough.
Yeah.
Well, once you go OLED, you simply can't go back. There's no
true.
moving backwards.
Yeah.
It's a dark path to walk.
Yeah.
Rhett, you finished God of War, right?
I did.
Speak on that.
And I highly recommend that if you haven't seen the playthrough, go and check it out, because it's only 20 parts long and it's all there from start to finish. Gimme God of War. It's funny, Odin wasn't as difficult as I thought he would have been. Thor ended up being more difficult. But nothing was more difficult than those first couple fights with the hateful, the Draugrs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have noticed that as well. I haven't finished it yet, but
truly. The very first hateful fight, I was on there. I went back and just like looked at the timestamp. I was on it for like 45 minutes. There was no other fight that I was on for nearly as long as that. It's insane.
Yeah, I'm still like in the midst of the game, but there's something about this game. It's missing something. And
see, I don't know.
To me, I feel like it's the bombastic set piece, the big awesome boss battle that just doesn't really happen. There's a lot of sort of mini boss sort of things, and that, I mean, the first fight with Thor is sweet, and I'm sure the final battles with whoever are pretty awesome. But along the way, I'm like, where's that moment that I'm looking for? And it's instead filled with dialogue that doesn't make sense, or characters like the squirrel. I'm like, why did you put this in here?
Ratatosker.
Man, that fucker can get lost, man.
Yeah.
Listen,
it doesn't fit. The tone is just weird.
I like the voice actor for that character, so I'm like, I can't
say
a lot of bad things about him, but like, I understand.
Yeah, I totally see from both perspectives, because I agree. Like, I enjoyed the performance.
Yes,
but like looking back on it, hearing Paul's take, I completely agree that it is kind of disjointed.
Even the character model, the first time he showed up, I was like, this looks like it was copy and pasted out of a different game entirely.
Like Monster Hunter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a Monster Hunter sidekick. Oh God, I can't unsee that now.
I'm gonna say, guys, I cannot get into God of War, right? So I'm always on the outside. It's just never clicked with me. And I recently watched a review of the game that was, shall we say, more critical than a lot of the ones I've been hearing, and there was a sort of like bitter satisfaction in knowing that there was people out there who also simply cannot fuck with this franchise.
James, that's a
And,
lie. You can get into God of War. You just need to watch our boy Rhett play it.
yeah,
It's a different
I-
experience, my friend.
I would much rather watch somebody play than play it myself. I could not be arsed. I simply can't.
Yeah, come along for the ride, no doubt
Yeah,
about it. But
I will watch you play Red 100%. But
the thing with
man,
Ragnarok, the thing with Ragnarok though is that, to my surprise, the last time that we were talking about the game, I think I was probably around the point that you're at now, Paul. And to my surprise, the game did start to change things up more than
Mm.
I had anticipated that it would. Like through the first few hours, it definitely feels like the exact same experience, but they start to sort of branch out with like your companions and abilities and where you go. It becomes, I don't know, it becomes much more than it seems
Hmm.
through the first few hours.
Yeah, I mean,
Uh,
I'm still loving it, but
it's
I'm at the point
fucking
where
phenomenal.
you're getting back to Sindri's house again, and I'm like, oh fuck, does this
Oh
mean
yeah.
another Atreus segment?
Now, so that is one thing I'll say is it is a long game. Long
Yeah.
game. I was playing on Gimme God of War, so there's obviously going to be a bit of a bit of a bump to the play time just from having to fucking die and restart and die and restart over and over. But I finished it at, I think it was 57 hours. It's a long, long game, especially in the final half, certainly the final act. It's like it's one that you would expect to finish 3, 4, 5 times over, and it just keeps going and going and going.
Oh wow.
And not
not
always
a
in the
selling
best
point.
way. Yeah, no,
Not
not always in
not
the
not
best way. Like it's
not selling me on it.
you could
honestly.
tell, man, you could tell like Cory Barlog, he had many, many ideas for this game, and he just tried to stuff them all in there as much as he could.
But
It kind of reminded me of Sony forcing Sam Raimi to stuff everything into Spider-Man 3 that they possibly could.
Oh, that's not a that's not a good comparison. You don't want anything you make to be compared to Spider-Man 3.
I don't think it was that bad.
I can't wait for the half hour where Atreus is possessed by the Venom symbiote, and he just starts doing the dance down the street.
The
and all
amazing
that shit.
dance. Oh,
Yeah.
he could never. He could never.
But Cory Barlog didn't direct this, did he?
I don't know. His name was definitely on it, wasn't it?
Oh, sure.
I feel like he was
involved,
like
I don't think
maybe
Yeah.
creative director or something, but I feel like somebody
he's
else.
not involved the same way he was in
okay.
the first game.
Well, sorry, Corey. Sorry, Corey. Well, then that makes sense because honestly, the first game is a lot tighter. We spoke on this last time, but the first game's story was so much tighter because it's just a tale of a man and his son lose their wife and mother, and then they need to take their ashes as their mother's final wish. They need to take her ashes up to the highest peak on the highest mountain in all of the lands, and that's it. That's the tale. And it's so much, it's so much more nuanced. It is.
Mhm.
It's a lot tighter. But the second game, I don't know. They just, again, I feel like they felt like they needed to go big or go home, so to speak. And less isn't always more, or more isn't always,
Better.
you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Yeah. More isn't always better. Yeah.
Yeah, it threw me a little when you start visiting different realms and there's like a realm selector.
Yeah.
It's like, oh,
I
really?
mean, that was there in the first game.
Yeah, but it didn't feel as open. It felt like there was a place to go. There was a place to be.
But so that's why this game is the only logical progression, because in the first game, yeah, it felt tighter because all the realms that you couldn't visit, they were there, but it just said like, I don't know what the message was, but it was like this realm could not be visited as of yet. And it was like, it was letting you know that this is where the story is going to go, but you just can't quite get there yet. And then sure enough, in this game, all those realms, and I say all those realms, but there was maybe 3 of them that it didn't allow you to visit in the first game. Those realms are now accessible. You know, it's the logical progression.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's still a great game.
Phenomenal. It really is phenomenal. And let's give it up to Christopher Judge and what's his name playing Atreus.
Oh.
Performances of the year. They have to be.
Yeah.
Christopher Judge in this one especially, like I feel like he was able to pull more out of the character than he was in the first one. There's a lot more
Yeah. Listen, Judge has been cool since the fucking 90s.
He's the man,
right?
Yeah, he's the man.
Man. Did y'all watch fucking Stargate SG-1?
I was gonna say, since the Stargate days.
Fuck yes, man. Indeed.
Just a badass
so cool.
Dude.
So cool.
But I say just those 2, but really every single character that is voiced in this game is voiced impeccably.
Yes.
Yep.
It's another thing. Like
even Sung-Won Cho playing the giant squirrel.
Oh man,
job.
Dude, he did a great job. As much as the character may not necessarily fit in the scheme of things. I mean, him as well. He only really exists in the realm between realms, you know. So it's not like he's showing up and saving Kratos from certain death.
No, that's true. That's true.
Swooping in on some sort of acorn skateboard. Da, 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 da. Yeah. Radical, guys! Yeah, anyways. I always haven't played the game.
You're not far off. Radical, guys.
Cool. I love it. I love it when I'm right.
All right, so what else did you guys play?
Ooh, I played Dragon Quest Treasures.
Okay, yet another entry in the Dragon Quest series that may or may not make sense.
Okay. Well, the embargo drops tomorrow.
Oh, so you definitely can't talk about it because this is on the internet right now.
I know, right?
Live, baby, live. Yeah.
Okay, here's the deal. I'll just give you a little teasy breakdown. You play a pair of siblings who, I don't know, your life sucks in some vaguely defined way. You're like on some ship with a bunch of Vikings and they push you around because they're much bigger than you are. It's fine. You get a chance encounter with these 2 magical wishy type animals and like, come with us to Draconia and hunt for treasure. Why? Shut up. And then off you go. And you go to this this amazing realm and you hunt for treasure. And you dig for it and you recruit monster friends and it's
a video game.
It is that. I will say that the first couple hours or so, as covered by the preview embargo, are very fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
It feels like they're trying to squeeze a lot out of that franchise.
Well, it's interesting because it does sort of harken back to the Dragon Quest Monsters games, because they do have a history of like spin-offs, because there's Dragon Quest Monsters for Game Boy Color, and then there's like a Dragon Quest Monsters Joker, I think, for the DS. They do have a history of like spin-offs that will sort of pop up alongside the main series. I applaud them for their efforts. You know, if you wanna branch out and do something besides the regular nonsense, by all means go for it. And if you gotta do it, say it with your chest. You know, really get out there, really make it happen.
100%.
You know, anytime a Dragon Quest game comes out, it's high time to highlight what I think is probably the pinnacle of my video gaming career, which is a video that's on the COG Connected channel entitled Slimes Must Die. And if you haven't watched this video, you should go watch it because it's
how many
something.
views? Milski?
Oh no, it's like 600 or something. But it is a true treasure.
I mean, still nice.
Yeah, it's all right. But featuring our friend and colleagues, Stefan Adamus.
Nice.
Yeah.
Shout out. You know, we really got to get some of the COG staff on the cast, you know? Maybe a rotating sort of fourth seat where we can check in on what the crew's playing. Maybe have them pop in for 15 minutes and talk about what they're playing or what they're watching or what they're up to in their lives, you know? Get the COG staff involved a little bit more.
I'm into that.
Yeah, get these people, get their microphones dusted off and out.
Yes.
And get their cameras shined up and ready. And tell us about their fucking lives, you know?
100%. I'm sure Everett, we could probably get Everett on for the first edition of this.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Our big man in charge, Alex
Absolutely.
Everett. Yeah.
Absolutely. Sure, we could get Houston in here eventually.
Yeah.
Maybe promise him we'll talk about the Habs the entire time.
I was gonna say, yeah, it's got to be around playoff time if the Habs are in.
Yeah, blast from the past, Trevor Houston, fucking coming in hot. That'd be something.
Well, I made this scene, the podcast scene, with a very large open space on the right-hand side, with the thought that, I would pull up videos and articles and stuff in the midst of the podcast. Haven't really done that, but I could put a fourth very large face just to the right of us.
Oh, I
Who,
fuck with that.
Andre the Giant, or who are we talking about?
Oh, whoever's in that fourth seat. Just their face is huge. Probably cropped in.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah.
I gotcha. Yeah.
We'll get like their eyes, their nose, their mouth, some of their cheeks. It'd be just like this big, just big,
Yeah.
There's lots we could do with that.
I'm looking. So it's like our 3 box, and if you're not watching the podcast right now, you obviously need to turn on YouTube and go to the replay, because I'm looking at the 3 boxes where our faces are, and then we're kind of floating in space there.
Yeah.
We should just have our guest's head floating in space behind us, kind of just
like green screened.
Yeah, exactly.
Put a little bit of physics on it so it kind of bounces around.
They rotate like the DVD screen, where the thing bounces around and you wait until it hits the corner just right.
Yeah, what we need to do is listen, you can come on the podcast, but you have to get a chroma key sheet from Fabricland and hang it on your wall.
100% cheap.
Yeah.
Chroma
key green, not that hard to find. I've been on scavenger missions for that shit before, for other doomed YouTube projects back in the day, and we were able to find quite a bit of it. You can get quite a bit of chroma key green if you're so fucking.
Wait a minute, I gotta back you up there. What do you mean, other doomed YouTube projects?
What?
Like this one's doomed?
No,
man.
Sorry, other YouTube projects that were doomed because they don't exist.
Okay.
This one exists. This one isn't doomed. This one's surviving and thriving. This one's kicking ass and taking names.
We super
When
exist.
I say a doomed YouTube project, I mean a thing you literally cannot find on YouTube because it was taken down or destroyed by the fires of time because the fucking creative differences and whatnot, and it was terrible. Also,
100%. Hey, shout out to Sean Christie on TikTok. You don't stop. Our latest follower just picked him up a few minutes ago. Welcome to the team. Hey, we're surviving and thriving.
Listen,
are we doing both?
At Press X Podcast on TikTok. No, we're not on TikTok right now, but we're on TikTok, but we're not streaming to TikTok. But Sean Christie, hey, you're part of the initial 1,000 that's going to get us there. And as soon as we get there, we will be on both at the same time.
Gonna explode.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Explosivo. Yeah. All right.
I got a question.
Okay.
If and when we're going live on TikTok, does that mean we have to start dancing and or wearing less clothing?
No.
Bit of both, you know. I noticed that a trend on TikTok is people they try to sleep, but then they have several buttons set up where, say, button A will play a loud truck horn, button B will play, you know, a cash register going off, and as they try to sleep, the viewers will be selecting which sounds to keep them awake with. Very, very popular. I don't, maybe I'm getting old. I don't understand these trends, but that's the sort of stuff that I might need to be doing here.
That sounds like a Japanese game show, gonna be honest.
Yeah, exactly. You should see it, man.
I'm gonna say,
You should see these people tossing and turning. It's insane. They're fucking like, fucking let me sleep. Like they're actually getting fucking angry at their audience, but
Are they though?
exactly.
They're getting performatively angry, aka the money kind of angry.
As if it's not 2:15 in the afternoon and they're sitting there fucking laughing all the way to the bank.
Just making bags of cash with each button press.
Yeah.
That can be us. That will be
So
us.
anyways, yeah, that'll be us after another 937 followers on TikTok. So at Press X Podcast on TikTok. Come on down.
Stay tuned for our first sleep cast and hot tub cast.
Yeah. Yep.
Tub casting. That's a thing, right?
100%. The only problem is that I don't have any clev. I don't have any cleavage to make the podcast or to make the fucking stream worthwhile. Who's gonna watch me in a fucking tub?
Yeah. Listen, this is as shirtless as I fucking get, boyo.
Just a tub and a tie. That's all we got.
Yeah.
Anyways. Rhett, I saw you were playing Need for Speed the other day. How is it?
Okay. If you are somebody that takes the racing game seriously, stay away from Need for Speed Unbound. And I'm sure that you could come to that conclusion just looking at the art style, but holy shit. This is the worst game I think I've ever played with a wheel. And I said in my review, it's the EA and Criterion committed the cardinal sin of racing games, and they released Need for Speed Unbound with next to no wheel support. I won't say that there's no wheel support, because if you plug your wheel in and if you hit the gas, your car will move, and if you hit the brake, your car will stop. But that's about as far as it goes. The turning radius is non-existent. The options to fine-tune the experience are non-existent. Playing the game doesn't really recognize your wheel. It looks at your wheel as a controller. So it combines or it just gives you one like group of settings for your for the wheel or the controller, and it's completely fucked. I compared the game. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, the wheel's basically an analog stick.
It's basically an analog stick. I compared the game to Forza Horizon 5 a bit in my review, and I don't know if people will agree that it's a fair comparison, but I think that Horizon 5 is Need for Speed's closest competition right now. They're both they both try to be semi accurate, racers. But Horizon 5 feels way better than Heat does or Unbound does. I say Heat because Unbound, my biggest problem with Need for Speed over the past 2 iterations is that they have this awkward like tap to drift system where you have to like tap the brake just right and slide into your drift just right, and it like I see what they're kind of going for, but it doesn't work. And I felt like it didn't work in Heat, the previous game, and I feel like it doesn't work probably more in Unbound. It's wild. Regardless of whether or not I have my car tuned to be a grip vehicle or a drifting vehicle, it seems like their drifting system just doesn't work, or wants to work maybe half the time, I should say. And then the other thing, so there's the awkward controls, the lack of wheel support, which is horrific. But the worst thing I think about the game, or the most frustrating thing, most tedious thing about the game, is that their cop system, their police patrol system, is completely out of whack. It's very easy to build up your heat throughout the game, and as you build up your heat, obviously the cops are more aggressive. But as soon as you have it's out of like 5 stars, 5 heat levels. As soon as you've built yourself up to one star, 2 stars, the cops start to appear on every other block. So you'll leave your garage and you'll go to, or you'll want to go to an event, but it just becomes a tedious, monotonous test of patience where you will drive down a block, you'll see a cop driving across the little radar, so you'll have to stop, cut your engine, wait until the cop passes, you'll go another couple blocks, you'll see another fucking cop appear, and you have to wait until he passes by. It's just that over and over and over again. It was driving me fucking crazy. Like, man, so fucking unfun. So
It's probably the exact same cop system that was in like Most Wanted and Underground like 20 years ago.
Truly. And I think you're right, because people always talk about that 2005 Most Wanted as like the golden age of Need for Speed. And so I think that they are looking at that as like, okay, let's just try and make that game again. But man, your systems and your fucking how the game works, how it operates is fucking ancient. It's insane. It feels like you're playing a PS1 game that has a team of developers that are on their first project, and it's really sweet, and they're staying up late, and
Man, I was talking about this with Plague Tale a few weeks ago. Like, it's fine if a game is going to be a game, but you can't see behind the curtain. You can't see those mechanics happening and see how to manipulate them.
yeah.
You know, they have to happen to you in a way that feels organic. And Need for Speed has been one of the worst offenders for that, especially with the rubber banding. It doesn't matter. You can throw your rival into oncoming traffic and they can smash up, you know, a minute and a half before the finish, and they will be on your ass. Like they don't they don't adhere to the physics of the game.
100%. The rubber banding is real in that one. One thing I'd say, sorry to cut you off there, James. One thing I'd say as well is that at least one thing I noticed is that the AI will make mistakes a lot more so than they did in Heat. You'll see if you're driving down a highway and traffic is kind of heavy, especially if you're going into oncoming traffic, you can kind of manipulate cars into hazards if you're good enough and if you're lucky enough. It does kind of happen. But yeah, it's not good. Sorry, James.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I was messing around with Need for Speed Heat recently, and I find it really fascinating when you're playing just like solo. The driver AI basically works like they catch up to you or get past you or stay behind you based solely on your performance. Like if you're like making turns, if you're like making boosts, if you're like if you're driving well, they will just get steadily worse to sort of like accommodate for that. I find it really interesting because I'll like struggle to get into first place, and if you can lock yourself into first, then you can watch the fucking because it'll tell you how many yards behind you a person is, and like if you're doing well, then all of a sudden it goes from like 7 yards to like 700 because they're like, oh no, this guy's doing really good. We'll just like keep these people a certain distance behind him, and it just continues to gain. And this is it changes or augments itself based on the difficulty settings, but like the fundamental way that the AI works is still present, where it's just like if you're driving well, then they are sort of like locked behind you. But if you're driving badly or if you make mistakes, then they get like sort of shoved right up your ass or whatever.
Yeah.
And it doesn't feel, once you figure out how it works, it ceases to feel even the slightest bit real. Like it's just like
that's exactly the reason why people who like the act of racing play Gran Turismo or F1 or Dirt Rally instead of games like this with rubber banding, because even Forza Horizon has rubber banding in it.
Oh yeah.
If you're looking for it, you will see it. So if you're interested in being the best racer on the course and having that lead to victory, you got to play a real sim. Otherwise, you're going to get screwed over sometimes because the AI decides that you won't win this race.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have one of the lowest scores on Metacritic for this one.
I do.
Brett? Yeah.
Yeah, I gave it a 67, I believe.
Well, yeah, I think a lot of that is based on your wheel adherence.
100%. Listen, if you're making a racing game and you don't have wheel support, that's outrageous. That is out fucking rageous.
Yeah, that's pretty stupid.
It is. It just is. Like, I understand that, yeah, not everybody, the majority of people playing Need for Speed aren't going to have wheels. I understand that. But, man, if you're a racing game.
Which explains why you have the lowest score at Metacritic.
I don't have the lowest score.
Second lowest.
Yeah.
Okay. Why you have the second lowest score in Metacritic?
I mean,
because you're advocating for a minority group, which is
does...
fine. You're allowed to do that, and you're very upfront about it. Let's be real, Brett. You're very transparent about your position in the review. Like nobody will mistake you or your allegiances. But I just, it's important to note that like you, the wheelman,
but even still, if you apply like 10 points out of the 100 to not having wheel support, you're basically at the meta score.
Yeah.
But
yeah, well, there
are reviews that are like, PlayStation Universe gave it a 90. Digital Chumps gave it 97.
What?
That sounds
why?
Sounds incorrect.
In a world full of racing games trying to be the next iRacing, Unbound says, "Hey, I'm just really here to have a damn good time," and hands you the keys.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm buying that.
Anyway.
Hands you the keys. I don't know how fun it was having to literally cut the engine to my vehicle every 12 seconds as I tried to outmaneuver an onslaught, an infinite onslaught of police that somehow knew where I was at all times. I understand that, yes, I have a 4.5 heat rating, sure, but that doesn't mean that the cops know which area of the city I'm in at all times, and they're just kind of patrolling in this Metal Gear Solid like grid where you can see their cone of vision and you need to avoid it. Man, dude, that is literally what it is. You have a Metal Gear Solid cone of vision that you need to avoid and wait for them to pass. Brutal. Like if this came out in 2005, sweet, awesome, like one of the best Need for Speeds ever, but it's 2022. Get real.
Snake, just use your Soliton radar and get past
the Soliton radar. Yeah, Mei Ling, man, she's on vacation. She doesn't. Yeah.
Speaking of Metal Gear Solid, what are the odds that this Kojima super mysterious game is a Metal Gear game?
Nah, it's gonna be something.
Yeah,
I think it's gonna be a bit more horror based. Not
I
that.
challenge
Go ahead.
anybody to glean literally anything from the cryptic clues he's delivered to
Yeah,
the masses. Because
yeah.
I follow him on Twitter because it's great. He's a really fun follow. He's a good dude. But like, you can't. There's no like clues in that. It's just like it's a question word. Where? What? How? Who? The fuck? Here's some people I've been hanging out with. Does it mean anything? I'll never tell.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think it'll be something new entirely.
There's
I
got
I
to be
I
something at Game Awards, right? And Jeff are too close.
Exactly. If Jeff is involved, that's a good call.
well
There
like
probably will be something.
Kojima's presence at the Game Awards is all but guaranteed. But like whether or not he's gonna have anything for this mystery game,
Is Jeff like hosting, doing anything like that? Because I think typically,
Oh,
you
he
know, if
must be.
he's, yeah, yeah, right.
it's this is his one
Or
of
if
his
he's,
this is his child. This is the thing. This is the thing
oh,
he
so,
does.
oh, okay, so
He's
yeah.
got to be at the birth of every one of his babies.
And in that
Yeah.
case, yeah, I'm sure there'll be
Um.
some sort of announcement, some sort
Hey.
of hologram.
So I have seen some tweets from Kojima where he's just like, here's an actor or a person that we fucking scanned, right? They put the tennis balls on them and photograph them from 1,000 angles and like get their digital likeness. And a
Mm-hmm.
couple of people. Do I know these people? No, but I know that he scanned them. Um, God, I hope it's a horror game. That would whip ass.
I was gonna say, I feel like it's gonna be something brand new, female lead horror, like more
Yep.
horror. Because Death Stranding, like, it didn't seem like it from the promotional stuff, but it was kind of horror esque. You know, the villains and some of the situations you got into were pretty, I don't know, grotesque, you could say.
Mhm.
So I think that he's gonna go more so. He's gonna go all out. Maybe this is gonna be the type of game that he wanted to make with fucking Guillermo. When you know he was on the Silent Hill train. Maybe this is gonna be
Yeah.
more akin to that Silent
You know
Hill.
who else he was hanging out with recently was Jordan Peele.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Well then,
I
man,
don't
it's
know if
got
it.
to be.
I
It's
don't.
got to be
I
something
don't know if it
scary.
means anything, but they hung out a bunch. They like
Yeah,
visited and shit like that. And they like
that's
he
funny.
signed his copy of one of his fucking movies.
That's
I
funny.
finally watched Nope, by the way. I don't know if anybody else here
Yeah,
has
it's
seen that
awesome.
one, but
It's on my it's on my watch list.
I saw it. I loved it. I
It's
want to see
super
it
good.
again. That's kind of what you
Is
need
it?
to know
Yeah.
about it. Yeah.
Nice.
I was gonna say, speaking of the Game Awards, um, did you guys sign up for that thing that they were advertising where they're gonna give away a Steam Deck for every minute that it's airing?
No,
Yeah.
I haven't
Where's
heard
the
about
link
this.
for that? I need a Steam
Yeah.
Deck.
Yeah.
I believe it's in November. Uh,
Damn
but
it.
I can't be certain. But like, I signed up. I'm gonna watch it on Steam. I'm gonna watch the Game Awards on Steam, and apparently for every minute that the Game Awards ceremony is running, they're gonna give away a Steam Deck to someone.
Damn. Yeah. Sign me up.
Yeah, which I think, based on what I think is going to be the length of it, because they were talking about the Game Awards being shorter this year, possibly because they will have to give away fewer Steam Decks.
Yeah. 100%. If there was ever a year to run this promotion.
Yeah. Do I need one? No, but
Yeah,
listen,
but watch, it'll
look at it.
replace the Switch real quick. I've seen people emulating Switch games on that thing like it's nothing.
Yep.
I have heard that the uh sailing the open seas possibilities with the Steam Deck are wide and varied.
Yeah. Fuck. You know what apparently is looking pretty good as well is this Logitech G Cloud. I don't know if y'all have heard about this, but it's essentially the same kind of thing as the Stream Deck or Steam Deck, but it's cheaper and apparently it works very, very well.
I thought that one was a little more focused on playing like cloud games. I might be wrong about that though.
I mean, I think it is. It probably is, but I think that it runs Steam just fine.
Mm.
Well, yeah, because like generally when something's like we're a cloud gaming system, that means the hardware is somewhere else.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm. Sweet.
Which is great.
It looks
for
like you can
countries
still
that-
sign up for that.
Oh, sick! Then
You send me the link?
Oh, hell yeah, I will.
Yeah.
yeah, I get a busy day tomorrow. I have a doctor's appointment at 2, and then at 5 I will sit down and watch the Game Awards, aka the video game Oscars, aka 20 minutes of advertisements for every actual award handed out.
Yeah. AKA God of War Ragnarok showcase.
Uh,
Because you know it's going to be cleaning up.
Yeah, it's gonna clean house.
It's just going to. Any sort of like performance category, it's going to clean up.
Oh, yeah. Anything for like voice acting or performance is gonna.
Yeah. Oh.
Sweet.
Even all the art categories and stuff, it's gonna.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Visuals, it's gonna clean up. Like best story, yeah, it's gonna clean up. Best narrative or whatever they call it. Yeah.
I mean, we should note as well, though, that this means absolutely nothing when it comes to the Press Extra podcast. 2022 awards. We're only talking about the last 2 weeks here, so
No, 100%, 100%. You
It could
know,
be
it's like speculating on who are the Oscar winners. You know,
Yeah.
it means nothing here. It's just speculation. We don't know. You know?
So, James, do you have to watch through Steam in order to win?
Yes.
Wow.
You have to like get your name
So
picked out of a hat and click a button to win?
I don't know.
Yeah. How do they track if you're watching? It must be that you must.
You just have to be on the Steam version of it, which is like that's fine. I have computers that can do that. It'll just be running constantly.
Yeah.
I'll have it set up and active, like before I even fucking leave for my doctor's appointment. I'll come back and it'll still be running.
Do you get more chances the more computers are running Steam in your house?
I'm gonna say no.
15
That's a great
Steam
idea.
app. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know, fellas.
Yeah.
I'm seeing 3 brand new Steam decks for the Press X boys.
Wait. Chalk them up. It's gonna be nice. And crushing those Steam Deck reviews.
Yeah, dog.
So what else did I chuck in the old news bin there?
The one that I'm most amped about is the Last of Us HBO trailer.
Man, that shit looks good. It looks really good.
It looks super
Yeah.
good.
And I mean, of course, Pedro Pascal is the fucking man.
Yeah.
And of course it's good. And I like the girl that they hired to play Ellie. Like
Yeah. Yeah. Bella
it
Ramsey.
it looks like they really wanted to buck this trend of video game stuff turned into cinema, into television is garbage. It looks like they really like wanted to say no, like we
Yeah.
can do this, you know? It looks like the game.
Yeah, and watching through it, I think there were a few clear places for anybody that's played the game that it sounds like they're going to not only recreate the story but expand on the story.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
And there's one
they're gonna do what Neil Druckmann could not do with the second one.
I can't wait for you to see season 2 of this show.
Yeah.
The Rock is playing Abby. Anyway, there's a point like halfway through the trailer where Bella Ramsey, who's playing Ellie, like pretends to start changing and then does this motion.
Yeah,
Where she
the
kind of
rock
like
bottom.
she kind of like scratches her neck a little bit and says, "Okay," and it is dead on from the game. Like they are nailing the characters.
It's good. It's very, very good. Yeah. The cinematography too is like on point, you know. It's got that sort of like dust filter on the camera, the light bursting through like boards, boarded up
Yep.
windows and stuff. Like, yeah, they're nailing that sort of atmosphere.
Fun fact about The Last of Us: filmed in Calgary.
Really? Fair enough. Yeah, it's pretty barren out there.
Cold,
Yeah.
snowy.
Yeah.
If you want a post-apocalyptic wintry hellscape, you go to Alberta.
Yeah.
You do indeed.
Yeah.
No one should live there. Anyways,
Here's the other one that stands out, James.
yeah.
First party Xbox games. Prices are going up. They claimed it would never happen, but baby, they're going to be $70 in 2023.
70 American dollars in 2023. First party games gonna be expensive. But you fucking knew it was happening. It's been happening to everybody else's shit. Xbox was like, we're never gonna do that. That's a lie. That's a goddamn lie is what that is.
I mean, as soon as they started acquiring all these companies for billions and billions of dollars, you had to know that this was coming.
But they also have to release a game to sell a game at 70.
That's fair. That's very
Yeah,
fair.
I promise that we'll have had so much time to save up for your $70 first party Xbox game. Well, I might even have $75 in my wallet by the time it drops.
Ooh, big spender here.
Maybe even
Yeah.
76. Yeah, it listen, guys, it's fine. You can charge this much money. I don't care because I will never buy an Xbox game. I spend $20 a month to just get your table scraps. I don't give a shit. You can just
Honestly, yeah, with the Game Pass, it would feel so foreign, so alien to purchase a game on that Xbox Live service,
I
listen.
would.
I'm open to the idea.
I couldn't possibly.
I'm open to the idea, but they were very clear in their last Xbox Prezi that I never have to do that.
Yeah.
They were like, no, James, it's fine. All of
Don't
these
ever.
games are coming to Game Pass.
Yeah,
Can you
yeah,
imagine?
exactly.
Can you imagine how many hours you would feel obligated to dump into Halo Infinite if you had paid
Oh God.
$59.99 for that bad boy? Jesus.
Dude, I was
$59.99
so happy
American,
having played, I think 3 hours of that game and then getting out of it. I
Like,
was so happy with that. I felt like I hit just
I'm
the right
done.
amount of time. Yeah.
That's enough.
Yeah.
What was the last Game Pass game you finished?
Probably Halo Infinite.
Okay. Rhett?
I'd have to look it up.
I did it just recently, so I have the answer on hand. I played all the way through Superliminal, which is game that starts weird, and by God, it gets weirder.
Is that the one that's about like resizing boxes and it changes the perspective and things?
Yeah, where like it's like when you hold an object up really close to your face, it seems very large, but in the game, it just is very large when you do that.
Yeah.
And they just do fun little tricks like that, and it's just like just a well-designed game that you can blaze through without too much time or trouble as a cost. Also, Eastward just dropped on Game Pass, so
Ooh.
pretty good. about
Oh
that.
shit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get that downloading right now. Last game that I completed on Game Pass though would be Shredder's Revenge.
Oh,
Nice,
Yeah.
nice.
That would be mine too
yeah.
then.
Yeah. That was a good time.
That's a game.
That's another game that's going in my personal top 10.
Shit,
I don't know
yeah.
about the rest of you fuckers.
Yeah, Shredders will be on my 10 for sure.
Yeah.
Ooh, Eastward. Here we go. Like, nice. That's a good pickup for Game Pass.
That's one of those ones that it came out maybe last year, and I immediately saw the trailer and went, this is my kind of game. I want to play this, and then never got around to it.
Mm-hmm.
So this is showing where Game Pass comes in strong. It's for those games that you wanted to pay money for, and now you differently pay money for.
What about Hello Neighbor 2?
Yep, that's dropping pretty quick. I actually have
on
already
there.
put a couple hours into Eastward, and I'm going to tell you right now. When it hits, it lands, it bangs. It's good. It's great shit.
Nice.
It fucking. I've gotten some like twee indie fatigue over the last couple of years, where it's just like I don't really need another one of these adorable, entrancing, incredible fucking indie games on my deck, right? But man, Eastward fucking cuts through the chaff, man. It just hits. It's so good.
It has a killer soundtrack too.
Yep.
Cool. Anything else you guys want to talk about, or what are we doing?
I think at this point in time, we have to go into a brief but significant hibernation to prepare for the next great and glorious episode, which I think, if my scheduling lines up, will be very cumulative. It'll take into account the whole of 2022 in some way. I'm not sure exactly how yet, but my feeling is that a year will be examined closely.
And viewers, listeners, if you have suggestions for how we should do that, by all means.
Yeah, this year we are flying blind, baby.
Like if you want us to analyze game, if you want us to analyze which game had the best mud this year, we'll do it.
Fuck yeah.
We don't care.
Yeah.
What is life anyway?
Yeah.
That's right.
100%.
All right.
Or listen, every year it's the most fuckable. We don't call it that because we're not rude, but that's what it is, right? But
we can go there.
Get a little crazy with it. Maybe what if you wanted to do like the problematic fave or something? I don't know. Get blow the doors open.
It's the squirrel in Ragnarok, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, 100%.
He's a dark
The
past.
eye patch? Woo! Man. On that note, I think we should get out of here before things degrade even further.
Nah.
Yep. This has been a jam, though. Thanks for hanging out, people, and or watching or listening later. God, we appreciate you. You're just the best.
Fucking rights.
Rhett, what's your streaming schedule? When are you back?
Man, come join us later tonight.
Woo.
Later tonight. Yeah, we're not gonna fucking put you out for long. Come join us later tonight for more Marvel's Midnight Suns.
Oh, nice.
And you know, I think that I'm going to play a heavily modded playthrough of Grand Theft Auto 4 because I've never been through that game. I've never actually finished that game. And I think that we could make it fun by probably installing 100 to 150 mods. And
can you please stream the install of all the mods? I want to see you crash the game for like 8 hours straight.
Yeah. No, nobody would want to see that. Nobody would want to see me putting my head through the wall.
I don't know. I think you'd be surprised.
A heavily edited version of that, maybe, where you like speed it up. You're like,
yeah. See, that's the thing. That's the thing. I don't have the patience to then watch back through my monumental failures and edit it to a digestible, YouTube video.
Yeah.
Dude, that's the thing I have learned about podcasting in the 5+ seasons that we've been doing this podcast. I edited podcasts back in the day, like season 1, season 2. Now, no. Hard no. We're not touching it. If it's in there, it's in there. If it's not, it's not.
100%. 100%.
If you can hear somebody breathing next to their mic, I don't care.
Oh yeah.
Deal with it.
Unless there's something, cancelable.
Yeah, we've kind of lost that safety net being live on the internet, but
that's exactly right. Exactly. Now it's
You got to be careful. You got to have your list of don't says on the right in front of
Oh
you.
yeah. Oh yeah.
That's not true.
No.
We're completely honest 100,000% of the time. So,
yeah, no.
all right, let's get out of here, fellas. It has been a
y'all.
true pleasure, everyone. We appreciate you and we enjoy your company and presence. So, join us next time where we perhaps cumulatively look at 2022 and look ahead. I'm going there. We're going to look ahead to 2023.
I can't believe this year is come and gone.
What even happened?
Yep.
We'll never know. But anyways, we'll be back with more podcasts. So we'll see you then.
Bye-bye.